dear friends. Here we have another episode of our studies on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We study one chapter from the book Green Light by the Spirit Andrea Luiz through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. What a blessing to be with you. What an honor and eternal gratitude for both André Luiz and Chico Xavier that work together for us to have these teachings today. And today is a very interesting chapter. This book, as we have found in the past few weeks, so that's week 33. Remember when we studied the books here, we also studied the preface of the books because they teach us what the spirits intend, what they want us to get from the teachings in each and every chapter. So today is about gifts. So last week was about brief notes, so little tips and tricks. The week before, ways to always help. Remember, in the description I have a link to the playlist so you can binge watch or binge listen to the book Green Light, because we read it and we comment. Always, friends, the goal is not to only know but also to find ways of applying the teachings to our daily lives. And this book is so practical that he's going to talk about gifts. We give gifts and we receive gifts. So let's see what André Luiz has in store for us today. He says, a gift is always a sign of affection and distinction between those who offer it as well as those who receive it. So we go out of our ways to find the perfect gift, a sign of affection. From me to you and you to me, as you give or receive, no matter what. It is a way that we use in this life and probably many other places on the universe for us to show affection. So how do we go about finding a gift, receiving a gift, and what happens if the gift is regifted? That's pretty much the way this chapter is going to unfold in front of us. He says, it is always advisable to choose a present or a gift according to the characteristics of the person who is going to receive it. So it's not about what I want you to have, but it is about what you want to have, right? So I want to look at who you are. That means I have to know you, I have to watch, not in a creepy way, but in an observant way, during our interactions. What are the things you gravitate towards? What are the things you like to do? Who are you as a person? Because if I want to choose a present according to the characteristics of the person, I need to know the person. Which brings us to the point of extra gifts and things that we, as a society, do sometimes, not out of malice, but out of automatism, automatism. It's Christmas time. We just want to give everybody a gift, and we just go and buy a bunch of stuff because we have stuff available. And we are not as planning, and maybe our life is busy. We don't have time to think about gift. We just buy something. And that's not how André Luiz is recommending that we go. We want to find the gift that will fit that person. I'll give you a silly example. Let's say you are someone who likes to bicycle. And then I go around and give you a basketball. Yeah, we can maybe in your free time go play basketball, but it won't be as thoughtful of a gift than if I went and got you a new helmet or new gift card for a bicycle place, right? So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Not just giving for the sake of giving because you feel like you have to, but if you're going to give, we want to choose something according to the characteristics of the one receiving. That's very easy for us to understand because we most likely have already received a gift that wasn't um, appropriate for us in a sense. It was very well meaning, it was a sign of affection, but there was not something you needed, wanted, or was going to use. So now we're invited to mindfulness and intentionality. When I buy something, when I use the resources granted to me by God, based on the positions that I find in myself and the resources that I have in my life, I want to be intentional. I want to find something that is for you. Now, what if you make something? What if you create something? Let's say we are in a non-consumeristic mode, the minimalist mode, and we make something, right? Or our kids make something, a card. He says, if your present or your gift is something that you have made, such as a picture or any kind of artistic object, avoid asking about it once you have given it, in order not to cause any embarrassment to your relationship, of course, to that person. We want to give as a sign of affection, but we don't want to be watching to see what that person is going to do with the gift, especially if something handmade, something that we crafted. Let's say you crochet or you sew and you make a blanket for someone that may have well served their kid when they were small, but now they're 15. They may not have the little blanket anymore. And conversely, again, how many of us have been asked by our relatives or friends about gifts they've given us that for some reason or another are not with us anymore? They're blessing someone else. Therefore, we start by we give and we don't worry, we detach from the end result of that gift. Of course, we give mindfully, we give with generosity, we give as a sign of affection, but then we don't get attached to the end result, except that we want to give something that is for the good of the person, right? It says, omit the value of the present and let others worry about how much things cost. So we don't say, hey, here's a gift. Remember when I gave you, it's a very important gift. It cost me $500 or whatever. So Andre Luiz is saying, no, to give the gift, omit the value. Because we don't want to be ostentatious, right? Perhaps I have 50, 100, 500 to give a gift. Maybe the person who is receiving it is in a difficult situation. So we don't want to bring that to their attention. In the same line, he says, after giving as a manifestation of the friendship you have, it's always wise to be silent about the matter as not to embarrass the person you helped. Let's say you give something and later you figure out that person is in difficulties. We just don't keep asking, we don't keep looking for it, and we are all somewhat quote unquote guilty of doing that, right? We give and we go to that person's home and we look for the object, or someone gave us something and they come on a Thanksgiving meal and they ask you about that sweater they gave you 5 years ago that is 5 times larger or 5 times smaller than you can use now. And then he's saying, you give and you be silent about it. You don't brag, you don't bring to their attention that you're giving them gifts. It's all about intentionality and discretion. We want to be discreet. We want to give because we want to bless that person, not because we want to be ostentatious about what is being given. And last but not least, he says, if you have given a present to someone and this person has given the present to someone else, do not complain. That's re-gifting, right? But take into consideration the blessings of joy which were multiplied by the seeds of fraternity and love. Because how many of us have not regifted a gift, even if we just regifted to the thrift store? So if you find that you gave someone something and then perhaps they didn't have any use for it at that moment, remember, we go through cycles, we go through evolutions in our lives. Something that we need today might not be something that someone needs tomorrow. And then he's saying, look at the blessings, the multiplication of blessings. So they gave it to someone else who are able to enjoy it much, much more. So, as a recap, intentionality. We want to know the people. We want to look for things that suit their life and suit who they are. Therefore, we have to be close to them to know, right? Then we want to make sure when we gift, we're discreet. We are not bragging. We don't talk about the amount of money we spend on people. And then if they regift it, we think about the blessings that that gift is now bestowed upon others. So not only the intentional recipient, but also the unintended recipients that now are able to enjoy that of which the people we love were able to. Very practical advice, as we are going to broadcast this in July, which is a little bit early, but we're thinking about, when the seasons of giving comes up at the end of the year, we want to think about birthdays and gifts and Christmas and whatever holiday you celebrate where gifts are exchanged. We want to make sure we take those guidelines into consideration. Dear friend, that's it about gifting today. The gift I receive each and every day when we are together is the gift of friendship and connection, and also the gifts we receive from the superior spirits, from the good spirits that share these teachings with us. Very practical tips for our life today. And between now and next time we meet, I hope you stay well. I hope you stay safe. Take care of someone else and yourself as well. And I'll see you, God willing, next week. Bye bye.